14 years old. When President Bush signed the No Child Left Behind Act in January of 2002, he promised that by 2014, the quality of inner-city school education would catch up to that of suburban schools. But by 2007, the gap between black and white 8th graders was worse than ever. Struggle is my address, where pain and crack lives. Born on the black list, told I'm below average. From A Dream by Common. 23rd percentile. I wish we could be alone, Tanisha whispered in my ear. We were in the hall between classes, pressed against her locker, pressed against each other. We were 8th graders now and sought each other out whenever we could. Me too. I kissed her. She smelled like cocoa butter, and the mixed sensations of pleasure and yearning were enough to make my knees feel weak, but it was nearly impossible for us to be alone. Lately, there had been more and more shootings between the disciples and the gangstas. Anyone, not just gangbangers from Douglas, found in Gentry territory, was liable to be shot. Maybe you could come over after school, she whispered with closed eyes as I kissed her neck. Despite the danger, I was seriously tempted. My mom will be at work and William's never around. I'd never met her older brother William, but I knew he was a Gentry gangsta. Let me think about it. We pressed together. Page 88. Feeling more heat than the friction of our clothes alone could create. Enough of that, you two, someone snapped sharply. It was Ms. Rodriguez, the assistant principal. I backed slowly away from Tanisha. Past were the days of jumping when some authority figure gave an order. I'm getting tired of telling you two to find someplace else for that. The old white-haired woman focused on me. Deshawn, come to my office. Sorry, Ms. Rodriguez, I said. It won't happen again. This is about something else, she said. In her office, I sat in an old wooden chair. Ms. Rodriguez pulled a pink sweater over her shoulders. Now you know why I spend so much time in the halls, she said with a shiver while she searched through a pile of folders on her desk. Been years since any heat came out of that radiator. Here we are. She opened a folder. Mr. Brandt left instructions for you to take the entrance exam for Hewlett Academy. What happened to him anyway? I asked. It was November, and I had not yet seen him around school. He took a job at one of the suburban schools, Ms. Rodriguez said. Too bad. He was one of our better teachers. While the assistant principal studied the folder, I watched through the dirty bar-covered window as a crusty old bum who looked like he was wearing 3 coats trudged past, lugging a huge plastic bag filled with empty cans. Now you understand, Deshawn, that we are only allowed to submit a certain number of students for that exam. Have you prepared? I shook my head. I'd never gotten around to studying the list of words Mr. Brand had given me. Ms. Rodriguez frowned. Let me take a look at your transcript anyway. She turned to her computer and studied the screen, tapping a bony finger against her lower lip. You are certainly one of the better students, especially among the boys. Mr. Brand said I was reading at grade level, I said proudly. Let's see your standardized test scores. She typed, and a different screen appeared on the computer. Her eyebrows dipped. Citywide, your test scores are in the 23rd percentile. What's that mean? Although I could tell by her expression that it wasn't good. Compared to students from all the other schools, you're in the bottom quarter. The radiator made a faint gurgling sound as if water was struggling to get through. It's not your fault, Deshawn, Ms. Rodriguez said. Many children get private tutoring or special preparation for these entrance exams, things we can't give students here. Secretly, I felt relief. I didn't want to leave Tanisha and take a bus every day to Beach Hill, and now I didn't have to feel too bad about letting Mr. Brand down because he could have come back to Washington Carver if he really cared. Ms. Rodriguez tapped the bottom of the folder against the desk. All right. She had other things to do. I got up and started to leave. Deshawn, she said, one other thing. Your friend Raydale Diggs, who, I believe you call him Lightbulb? It had been so long since I had heard his real name, I'd forgotten it. Maybe you could do us a favor, Ms. Rodriguez said. He's one of the brightest children we'd ever seen, and we would like him to apply to Hewlett Academy, but he seems reluctant. Perhaps you'd talk to him. You're a friend, so he might listen to you.